Museum and the Tolerance Center of the Vilna State Jewish Museum, and I believe many of you know me, and I'm happy today actually to present you our new project that we are creating, a Samuel Back Road. And so actually today you will have the opportunity to hear and to see how our project Samuel Back Road is developing, as we are going to open the doors of creative workshop of a small creative company with Lina Vigraite. First of all, I want to present you our guest star, and this is artist Samuel Bako, our guest, and yes, and he, as you know, is the honorary citizen of Vilnius. So this road, it will mark very nicely into the history of Vilnius and Vilnius architectural site. So as I mentioned, we have Lina Vigraite. So can you again just greet everybody, so everybody will know you? And she is yes, she is hidden under the name of Pokopoto. First of all, as you know, as Samuel Baku is our guest star, and a lot of you know him, and you know his art and life, and as you know that like a line of our talk tonight is also how we are going to present art for a new generation, for our students, for even school children. How historical art can be interesting for them. And most likely we are going to do it through digital technologies, and to attract younger audience, to attract through some historical game or like interactive lesson. So dear Samuel, at first we would like to ask you, what do you think, how your artworks can be connected to new forms of digital media?
Well, you know, art is painting is a visual experience. And I think that there has never been a time as extraordinary as that right now, when images can travel through the space and arrive wherever they arrive. I mean, just a few centuries ago, people, in order to see paintings, had to go to the church or had to go and be accepted in some wealthy families that has some paintings on their walls. Right now, you click on a button of the computer and you can get, for instance, to my catalogue raisonné, which contains about 8,000 works that I have done in the last 80 years. So it's absolutely extraordinary. The digital technique is an extension of the visual experience.
So, I think on this note that I want to give the floor to Lina, our creative agency soul, and she will present what we so far did with our ideas, how the project Samuel Back Road is developing, as we have this project has two parts. One is a website, Samuel Back Art, connected to art, everything about art and lesson. And another one is Samuel Back Road in Vilnius, in the city of Vilnius, marking childhood places of Samuel. So, Lina, I hope you now are going to show us the visual side of the project.
Yes, I will. A little bit of some sneak in for the it's not fully made yet. So it's an honor, Samuel, to work with things with you or for you through museum yes. So we had Samuelio Bako keliu, or the path of Samuel Bak. We had an idea to split it in two parts, as Ieva said, and the first is less developed yet, is that real path, a walk in Vilnius. Part one, a walk in Vilnius through different places you've touched, you lived, you've spent time there in Vilnius, and you have a story to tell. So those all places are in Vilnius to stop, and the stories there are told through your words. Samuel, we read this book again and again. We took sentences, we took your stories, and we've put it into, and we'll put it into life, actually. So this A Walk in Vilnius will be a story of a 9-year-old boy, as you know, Samuel Bak, 9-year-old boy, and it will contain a full 6 places. It's home, which is Mokytojų namai, hideout, Kotrynos bažnyčia, exhibition in dabar jaunimas theater, museum, Samuel Bak Museum in Vilnius, ghetto, it will be about in a hospital street, and HKP. This the working place, yes,
Yeah.
at the time of ghetto.
Yes.
So these 6 places will speak with your voice, and all these places will be marked with Inčirauskas, the artist, sculptures. I don't have it here, but probably I will try to share it if you could let me now to open them, okay?
Yeah.
Just for you to see also. Stop share, and I will share again this. We've made 4 by now. 2 additional will come later in next year. But this is how it looks. It's a project, actually. How we plan to put them in the city. This is the first home stop in the Mokytojų namai, as you see, and the sculpture will look like this.
I see, lovely.
You see it, yes?
Yes, I see it.
Yeah.
Very beautiful.
It is. It's a bronze, Ieva, yes. And it will contain a QR code on it. It's not still there, but it could be a QR code. When you come to this place, you can scan QR code, and then this 9-year-old boy will speak to you.
I see.
Through this, through your mobile phone, let's say so.
I see.
And then we have your hideouts. It is Kotrynos bažnyčia, and it will look like this.
I see. Wow, very impressive.
It is beautiful. We have jaunimo teatras. It used to be also ghetto theater at the time, and you had there a first exhibition of yours.
Right.
Yes, it's also be marked.
I see.
Like,
yeah.
Yes. And we still have this last one now. For now, it is your museum, Samuel Bak Museum in Vilnius, Naugarduko 10. And we will have a corner sign like this.
Yes, I see.
Okay, so just for you to see, and then I will.
Oh, I just have a question. Is the information going to be in Lithuanian only, or also in I don't know, English or German? Because I understand that it may interest also tourists.
Yes.
Well, I can answer just this question that yes. So first of all, we launch a Lithuanian part, but also an English. Everything will be in English as well. So definitely, we're thinking about for foreign tourists. So
I see. I have another remark that You know, in Lithuanian, it's Samuelio Bako, but this may be a little difficult for people, for tourists, because they know my name as Samuel Bak, and this may be somehow disturbing to them to see the name put differently. They may not even understand why it is so, because not everyone is an expert in languages.
Well, we will take this into consideration.
Yeah, good. Well, let's go on.
Yeah.
Very interesting. I'm very moved by
Yes,
your project. It's extraordinary.
So just a reminder, when you come to this place, to a stop, yes, you scan a QR code on these sculptures, and then you have in your mobile phone, you know, like an app or a website opening, and the story begins. So it begins with the storytelling of this place. It's about, if it's about home, you know, Samuel, as a 9-year-old, you talk to those people who are listening about the place you live there, what you saw, what you have experienced in this place. And then after, and this is a revealing of some visuals, how it's gonna look like. You see on the left, it will be video. Yes, I see. So you know, it will be moving. It will be like also as Ieva mentioned, you know, to attract people, to make a visually attractive thing, a tool to speak to a younger generation, to people who are now used to a different visual experiences. So to meet their expectations and to tell the story that needs to be told. And also, when you tell a story in each of the place, you, Samuel, again, as a 9-year-old, will ask people to play. There's a game to play.
Yes, I like the dreidel here. Yes.
Yeah, you have a dreidel here, and you paint dice. You paint a chance of, take a chance. You'll see if you win or not. So there's all parallels of this. Okay, it's you tell a story about your experiences of the ghetto, the horrors of it, and then you ask to play because you're still a child there. Yes. And you want to play. And of course, people will learn how to play dreidel. There will be some guidelines told how to play it. And you was not so lucky probably there at these times, but the answers of this dreidel will get a point to the people that maybe that they are now much more lucky than you was there and those days back. It's just a little sneaking, into what's gonna be, not in full. So maybe it's not all clear, and it's also. The dreidel is a game you just have. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
It's gonna spin there. And then we have nun, you have hey and shin, yes, the answers, and it, people will get the idea how to play, and then what the chances were at that time, what was a good fortune and what wasn't in the times of ghetto. So through the text. So now today, actually, we are recording this voice of yours and the text we have, a text we will, and the stories will tell. Okay. So I think I'm done with part one. Ieva, do you need anything to add about it? Because I think the next part will be a bit longer.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
No, I think we can move to the part two since it's more developed, so we can present a demo version. So, if after the presentation, we can talk more. So
yes.
Okay, so the next part is you know, when we split this the whole project in two parts. The first was the walk in the Vilnius was, we kept in mind like a history teacher with the class is going in Vilnius streets and making his lessons to this class, yes, about the Second World War II, what happened then, you know, the story that needs to be told and shared with the interactive tools to make it, you know, rememberable for children and for anybody who will take a chance to listen to it. And the next part we dedicated to your work, to your art, to who you become when you grew up, with all these experiences you've took from Vilnius, yes, and because it led you through the whole your life. And so the second part is about your art, but again we've imagined there now an art teacher and a class. There was a history teacher, and now we had an art teacher, Daile. It's probably in English, it's art teacher, and how to talk with kids and to talk about your works. So we've decided to overall to make it, what is art for? What is art for overall for children? What is art? Why do we need art? What is the art for me? So all these are the questions that might be probably answered or discussed in a platform of yours with your art and with your paintings. So this platform is an open discussion, a lecture, interactive lecture about the art. Why do we need art through your works, through your paintings?
Yes.
And probably I will go there now. Yes, I think it is opened. What do you see it in the screen now?
I see a gray screen.
Gray screen. Let me try. Okay, tape sharingas. You see it now?
I see, yes, I see the question.
The question.
Now it's okay. Now it's okay.
Now it is okay. So that's the title opening page of this platform for an open discussion, and there's the question in Lithuanian is, why do we need art? When we go further, you know, you also can say, why do we need art? What is the meaning of art? Why do people create art? What can I expect from art? You know, what do I feel when I observe art? All these are the questions of, you know, to think about, to go through with kids maybe, or to go through with yourself, or to anybody you can sit together and go through this lecture. And then we tell a short story about you, Samuel, and we then go to the themes as an answers.
Yes.
Why do we need art? Yes. And we can select whatever theme we would like to go through. And let's say we start with, well, okay, art inspires hope. As an example, why do we need art? Because art inspires hope. Do I need hope? I want to be hopeful. I want to expect something good from life. Yes. Okay. We want to go through this. Then we select this. And then we see your paintings, Samuel, your symbols. We've selected 9 of them. 9 of them. And these 9 are a pear, angel, a key, Adam and Eve, chance or dices, chess, and a few more. So this is 9 of them. And we, going through all these symbols, we will ask, how do this, what maybe Samuel Bako thought about this painting when he was painting, and maybe how it could be related to this question, or to this a possible answer that art creates or inspires hope. So, and it's just an open discussion, and it is a personal view, probably, through how we understand your paintings, how do we understand art, and anybody who will watch it will be able to have their own opinion. Sure. And talk about it. But still, to make it interactive, what we've done is we've wanted to, especially keeping in mind children class, you know, yes. How to play, what awards do I get? Okay, so all these paintings here are not in Vilnius Museum, but what do is we'll ask, this is a team, we speak about it, and this we ask, what interpretation of this Samuel Baku painting would inspire a hope for you more, or what do you think? What, you know, that's kind of question. And then there's we have an answers here also as an interpretation. And okay, this is I choose one, for example, mother, pair, and the mother as an answer, and then we get an answer, and okay, I can go to the next symbol, and this way we show you through your symbols and through the thinking how art inspires hope, and through the text and visual inspirations we speak with the people about it, about the art and about your art. So, and again, we choose the most suitable answer for us, and we go further. And we go further. Well, all this walk of 9 symbols in order to reveal something for us.
Yes.
Yes. I will not read now the texts probably. Yes, Ieva. I just will go through.
Yes, well, there are a lot of text, of course. And,
yes, I imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, and is this a city? Yes. Then we have the whole story behind Adam and Eve.
Yes.
And there's last one. And once we receive the last one, we have an invitation.
Yeah.
And then as an answer, as a present for people, according to selected answers, people will receive a reward or a visual, your painting, which is actually present in Vilnius Museum, as the most suitable for their hearts, according to their answers to the questions. And they will be invited to come to see it in live, because the true experience, looking at the real painting is much more true and much more stronger. So
yes, of course.
Yeah, so this is how we'll talk about art with your art, through your art, and invite people to come and to see it in real life in your museum. So this is in short, the whole structure of this platform, or the open lecture.
Well, it's a wonderful
about the art.
Yeah. I'm very impressed.
I'm very glad to hear, and just also to add what Lina said, that definitely it was very hard to write the text for particular topics, for example, since we know that, you know, that all of them, they are rooted back to Holocaust, and if some hope exists, so maybe in the future, or maybe if you overcome the dark memories, if you will find the light in your heart after what you have experienced. So this is for everybody, just to see the light when it's the darkest. So this is also our main message for all of your art. And definitely it's based on your experiences, your book, your thoughts, your philosophy. So it's our touch to your philosophy, I would say. So we definitely will be happy to present the English version also for you, so you can read everything. And we just have to translate everything into English and to upload. So it will, I think we will do it in January, this part. And so also what Lina showed, just that we wanted actually at first stage, we wanted to use only the images that belong to our museum. But when we realized that we need close to 45 images at least, and on certain topics, so we decided to also address the Kunstarchiv in your various catalog raisonné, and definitely I already sent information for them, and for now it's a demo version, and of course well, and what Lina also marked, that despite that we are showing all your art, and then according to the answer, the one painting is being chosen as a reward. And this is the painting that is in the reality hanging at your museum. So people, it's like, we, in a way, we're saying that this is your painting. Please come and see it.
Yes.
So overall, on this platform, we'll have 45 pictures that do not belong to Vilnius Museum. They cannot be seen in real life in museum, and 20 that are in Vilnius Museum. So it is 65 paintings in total.
Well, it's wonderful. I must say it was a great idea to enlarge the view of paintings with paintings that are not in Vilnius, because inevitably there are many paintings of mine that are spread over the world, and today the digital means allow us to see things which are absolutely extraordinary. Sometimes I have personally, let me tell you a secret, I have a feeling that my paintings look maybe even better on the screen than they do when you see the original. I'm always surprised.
But the perception is different, of course. When you see it in the museum, the way it is built, the way it is...
yes, it's a different thing, of course. But, you know, I'm the painter, so I have a different attitude to my work.
Well, I can even add that they are very photogenic.
They are photogenic, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
So that's a digital technology. You know, you integrate the things that are available in virtual reality. Yeah. And we integrate, you know, the invitation to come to your museum to see it in real life. So that was the aim.
That's absolutely.
You can see it in your computer screen, but don't forget, you know, to come and feel it.
Obviously, it's very important to see the real thing. Absolutely. But this is a fantastic introduction. Couldn't be better.
Thank you so much for your good words, and Lina and me, we have a lot of work still to do, and because all the categories needs to be filled fully, so we almost did it, but still, you know, the last let's say dots on letters are missing. Yeah. But we are very happy that you know, all this demo version, let's say the first presentation that we see, and maybe if some of you been to Samuel Bako Museum, you remember how Samuel Bako video guide looks like. So we also are using the same design completely from Samuel Bako Museum. So it's like it would have a continuity and some togetherness. So everything will be also, as I mentioned, in English, so I think it will reach larger audiences in this way. Yep. And I'm now, you know, as we present this sneak peek, let's say, to Samuel Bako Road and Samuel Bako art class, the virtual art class, virtual possibility to understand art through certain categories. I think we should let Samuel to also continue to maybe share almost same examples from other countries like United States America, where your second museum was recently opened in Houston. And as I know that there are plans for Nebraska University.
Yeah, they are now transforming a building there for a Bach museum, and they will have a very big collection of my work, and all this very much centered on teaching. I was very happy to have this agreement with a university and with the Department of Liberal Arts, where my art can be seen not only as an aesthetic experience and a visual experience, but can also serve to the teaching and to research of history, of sociology, of subjects like racism, even go into politics and so on. So I am extremely moved by your work, because the field of education is extremely important in my eyes. It gives a much deeper and important meaning to paintings, to art, than objects that hang on the wall of your living room and try to go well with the curtains and the carpets on the floor.
So true.
Yeah.
So
True, and the education, of course, you know, what we've also tried to do is to make this education also attractive and interactive.
Yes,
That's why I know we have all these questions and answers and etc. and the rewarding things integrated. We have to look to education in a more easy way, in a different way than probably we've used to. Especially here, we have in Lithuania, in post-Soviet Union countries, we have some. We have to change a little bit our thinking. You know, how to teach children and to teach ourselves how to learn. So to make it attractive, to make it easy and understandable, it's not a shame. It's an aim to do it.
It's wonderful. It is just the best thing that you could do, because the young generation is the symbol of our hope. We can let them understand what life is and how to be equipped to live and how to make the world a better place. So what could be better? What could be more important?
So also for us, if still talking about this this project, we have chosen, I think, basic symbols of your main, not basic, but main symbols that can be talked about. And it is, as Lina mentioned, a pear, a key, an angel, a tree, the chess figure, chance, also like still lives from like bottles, broken teacups. So in Lithuanian, this is like in one word we call it not dishes but plates. I would say in a bigger
cups and teapots.
Teapots, everything in what you eat from or you put on your table. So also this is a city and Adam and Eve. So and all of them are connected in between, and all of them are connected in your art, because sometimes it's an angel sitting on the chance as a part of the for example abandoned city. So
yes.
So every symbol, they are interconnected.
So we didn't want to make it too long, you know. You have much more things to say probably, or to show, Samuel, and the symbols you have, you know, in this Kunstarchive we could find much more, but we've selected 9 to make it.
You did very well. You did very well. There is, you know, there is a big rule in art, in every art, in writing, in music, and so on, that says less is more. So you have to find a limit, because it is good to concentrate on a smaller number of things, but go in a more profound way.
True.
So as you know,
maybe we can ask it. Maybe, Ieva, maybe we can ask a question. All this platform is an open discussion through Samuel Baku paintings. What is art for? Maybe we can ask this question of Samuel Baku. Samuel, why do we need art?
Are you asking me,
Yes.
or are
Yes.
you giving me answers that I gave? I guess that I wrote much and I spoke much in interviews and so on. But I can tell you that now in my long life, as you all know, I'm 87 now. I had at different times different priorities for the right answer. I think that the communication with the younger generation became very important for me when I lived in New York in the mid-70s. And then in around 78 and so on, the Brandeis University's museum gave a show to my work. And this has triggered the creation of a organization that is dealing with the teaching of teachers how to teach history and how to teach the history of the Holocaust and the reason of the Holocaust, not seen only as a Jewish tragedy, as a tragedy in the Jewish history, but seen also as a laboratory of human behavior. And what is it that brought to the fact that some people can do some horrible things to other people? How is it that people behave under stress? How is it that prejudice, intolerance, and racism can create show images that will provoke curiosity of people that don't know why these images were created and will start asking questions. And then when they ask questions, this is the best way of education, is to try to listen what answers they have and try to enrich their answers through more information and so on. So here we go. I mean, what you are doing, the work that you are doing for me is incredibly satisfying, because I can see that all what I have invested and what I believe in brought a wonderful result.
Okay, so art is to speak. You speak with your art.
I speak with my art. I speak with my art, and I also speak in words. For instance, I am doing now a very big work for the University of Nebraska, which is talking and creating a text for a very large number of my paintings, with a very educational purpose. And this is planned to come out in 3 volumes of about over 500 images and the same number of texts. So you see, it's a very, very big job, but I'm doing it with a lot of dedication and concentration, because I think it is important. I have a story to tell, and I can help to understand my art better by telling my story also in words. So my book, which has been translated into Lithuanian, is telling the story.
Yes, and we are actually glad that also Vilnius Museum and enabled actually your words to be told in Lithuanian language.
Yes.
So we are really very glad for that. We while we were preparing this, analyzing all material we have and what we can do, we definitely found a lot of in English, a lot of material in English, but this probably is one of the first, or probably the first, maybe there's such interactive and digital version of education for in Lithuanian language.
Absolutely. When is it going to be accessible to people to whom I can send a link and say, look what in Vilnius was done about my art? They will not be able to understand the text, but still have an idea of what has been done.
This is the beginning of January. We'll definitely have it finished in Lithuanian, and I think it will not take too long to make it in English, Ieva.
Yes, wonderful.
It's a matter of translation and then programming it. And
yes, I think that I'm already actually in touch with a translator, and she is about to start working in early January, right after New Year. So it's not so much, it's not a foliant, not a big book. So I think it will do within a week. I will have to double check, but so because the Lithuanian texts, they are all ready, so we are ready to start to launch the site, and of course, because as everybody here, that we have a very bad situation with COVID virus here, and a lot of people are sick, so it's a lockdown, it's a complete lockdown. So I think this platform will help people to access more of art and access to have some creative time, to spend the creative time. So also art heals, as we know. And I remember that I had such almost not the same, not the presentation, but we had a talk with Samuel this April. And actually, it was a lockdown in Lithuania and United States. And also we talked about if art can help to repair the world. So I think that, yes, now my answer is yes.
Yes.
And what you did, because Samuel Bako, he has this main theme of if you shatter something, you have a broken glass, you have broken cups and things, but you can but your memory can help to rebuild it. So, and present it as a whole, as an art image of art.
Yes.
Maybe people now who are listening us here will see it also. Maybe they are in some way of educational system of Lithuania or Vilnius. So maybe they will have an idea as how we could spread the word and spread this platform on this tool through schools in Vilnius or in Lithuania. I would be glad, probably Ieva, you will be glad to receive, a call or something, to asking to share it and how to use it. We will prepare a guide how to use it, and so hopefully it will see a world.
Well, so I think that today in the beginning we talked briefly with Sam, and I know that Sam have heard a sad message that someone from his close friends, let's say even family circle, died in Germany.
Yeah, I think this is an occasion to speak of something which goes beyond the tragedy that happened to my family. My little cousin, little I say because when I was about 6, she was about 2 years old. My little cousin became yesterday a widow. Her husband, 86, died of the COVID, of the virus. And so I told before, I was on the telephone with her. He died in Munich. And we spoke a lot. We spoke a lot about our childhood in Vilnius. I realized I was for her a kind of an older brother, and I am an older brother for her. And I realized that speaking of the happy times we had as children and so on was very important. Now, I mentioned her name is Tamara Shapiro. She was born Tamara Shapiro. Now she's called Tamara Dreyfus. Her husband's name was Zvi Dreyfus. She is in Germany quite a known educator for schools on the subject of the Holocaust. And she was supposed this year to get two very important prizes, a Bundesrepublik Prize for her work as an educator, and another of the city of Köln, where she lived for many years and educated there in schools. And what was extraordinary in my cousin's life, and also in her personality, because we spoke until quite late yesterday night, and I hardly slept this night because it was a very emotional and moving thing. But she is determined to go on doing her work and continue going to schools and interact with children. And in Germany, there is a very great interest for her life, as it is in Vilnius for my life. But she is somebody from Vilna, of whom the people of Vilnius should also be proud. So she published a book for children in which she tells the story of her survival, how she was saved from the Nazis by a very huge and frightening dog. It's an extraordinary story. I mentioned something about it in my book, but she had an extraordinary way of reaching out to children and telling the story and moving them. And I'm speaking of her, especially besides the fact that this was a very sad occasion. Yesterday morning, my cousin Zvi passed away. But life goes on, and she is determined. She is determined to go on as long as her life lasts to do this work, because it gives a meaning to why we were the lucky ones, why we survived. Why, what can we do about it that other people do not get into such frightening circumstances as the ones that have destroyed our families and so many people we loved?
Yes, thank you for sharing this also topic with us, with everybody, because it's very important. And it's important what you said. And it gives meaning even to saddest
Yes.
circumstances. So actually, if she has published the book, maybe if we will.
Yes, I will try to create a contact. Her book was even reprinted because it was very successful, and there are very few books for children that speak of these frightening times. It's a very beautiful book and was very much appreciated in Germany.
It is in German language, as I understood.
It is in German, yes.
But it can be always translated.
But it can be translated, of course, into Lithuanian, and I will do my best to create a contact between you and my cousin Tamara.
Right. So I think as we move into an hour already, close to 1 hour,
yes.
So I think that we should open our question time, and we have listeners. So we had our conversation. So please, if you have questions, do not hesitate to ask.
Well, I'm open to any questions.
We always have a very, modest public, and especially in Zoom events.
Yeah.
As I myself understand. So you can even write it in the chat if you wish, so we can read it.
Yes. But if you have our conversation recorded, and I think that in what I say, I might have answered already some of possible questions. I think every public is precious, If it is one person or 10 people or more, this it does not, to me, it does not make a very big difference. I'm speaking to each one individually. So, so if there are questions, I'll be very happy to answer. If there are no questions, we can just leave it at that, or you can ask me some questions that you know that people are asking.
Well, I think I have one question because, for example, one of our categories, we talk about your art. It's called, just of course, it sounds very different in Lithuanian, but in true version of English, it's called propaganda for what really matters. So then talking about every single of 9 symbols. So this is my question, that what you say, let's say, in few sentences you can answer, or in 10 sentences, it's like what you think is in your art this propaganda for what really matters.
Well, the word propaganda has a certain number of layers of meaning. I mean, usually it is propaganda is used in a negative sense. Propaganda is used to say we are trying to establish some convictions in people by giving them information that serves our own purpose and our own interests. For instance, in Germany, the minister of propaganda was Goebbels, and he was supposed to sell all the bad ideas to people in the shape of good ideas. Here in the United States, we had a lot of, let's say, propaganda of, in the eyes of many people, propaganda of our present president, that we are, or I am, and many people with me are very happy is going to leave the White House, because he was giving people a lot of misinformation. So this is the sense of propaganda in its negative way. Now, telling people things through images, letting them interpret the things, and getting from this interpretation some convictions is a very complex process. For this, you need teachers to guide mainly the young people, so that they will get to the more positive ideas than rather the negative ideas that propaganda can sometimes distribute. Now, you ask if there is an aspect of propaganda in my work. Yes, obviously there is an aspect of trying to convince people that a world in which we lived was destroyed. From the bits and pieces of that world, we can reconstruct, on one hand, a memory of things, on the other hand, start rebuilding the world, and maybe start rebuilding the world a little differently. And I hope very much better, so that the things of the past that have wounded us so badly will not return, will not repeat themselves. So it is a more etymological question than a question that touches the field of art. The question of propaganda is the distribution of information, distribution of knowledge, distribution of convictions, etc.
So definitely.
If I'm right, this painting, which is now on screen, is called tikkun.
Tikkun, which means repair.
Yes.
Which means repair. You have it in Hebrew letters and upside down. Tikkun. You can also read in the central, in the very center of the painting. There is a T, an I, a K, and a U. Yes. And then you have kind of guess. And tikkun means repair, and tikkun comes from rather, I would say, spiritual concept, which is related to the Jewish legends of Jewish religion, Jewish theology, is that some vessels which contained the divine spirit were broken, and we are, through our good and right deeds, we are asked to put these vessels again into their shape of completeness, and through that we improve the world. Which means we should not take for granted the things the way they are. We should always, through good deeds, through empathy, through a certain concept of collective well-being and so on, we should do things that improve the world. We should not just be happy with what there is. We should know that things can be better, and their betterment depends on our actions.
It's definitely very very good, very deep, and in going into future, you know, like it's a wish for the future, and it's a wish for the humanity. Actually, I see that I see the question. It's in Lithuanian, and I'm going to translate it. Yes. So, okay, there is a question: how you, in general, evaluate the presentation of the Jewish culture in Lithuania? If is it like, let's say, right now, is it enough?
There is very difficult for me to answer, because, you know, I was always a visitor in Vilnius. I was incredibly, just excuse me a moment, I have just to stop. My iPhone was ringing. I was always in Vilnius incredibly welcomed. I was given all the honors and all the recognition that anyone can dream of, and for artists it's extremely unusual. So I always felt very privileged. Now, I also realized that there are some things which are very much based on the facts that with time are changing the way people receive information and people acquire knowledge and so on. I mean, it is, I think, wonderful that you dedicate all this work to my art, that in some way brings back the memory of a huge community of about 1/3 of the citizens of Vilnius that was Jewish, and that was then destroyed by the Nazis, by the German occupation of Hitler. And with this perished an enormous treasure of culture and of well-being and of economics and of many other things that the Jewish population represented. There were Jews of all the different layers of society. There were very poor people, there were rich people, there were very accomplished professionals, doctors, lawyers, and so on. There were also Jewish gangsters. I mean, it was a very normal, there was a very normal population. This population had a language, which was Yiddish. All this today does not exist. But I think it is very important that for Lithuanians who study the history of their country, they study the history of their capital city, that they get information and they learn what existed once in that place. And I know that there were some efforts at the university to teach Yiddish. There were some courses where students came from time to time. Of course, all this as number-wise was very small. but they still existed, and that I appreciate very much. And the fact that you are speaking of my art and that in some way rekindles memory of things that existed in the past, I think it's a wonderful endeavor. But I know very well that the Jewish culture, the culture of Yiddish that once existed in Vilnius, cannot be reborn. I mean, these are historical facts that happen. Things change with time in many countries. Things become different. But one has to know the history of one's place, because history is a kind of collective memory. We make progress in life and we adapt to life by knowing things about the greater world. You know, when I was a father and I took my girls, when they were very small, to cross the street, I told them, you first look to the right, you first look to the left, and then if there is no car, you can cross. Now, I was teaching them something based on collective memory. Everyone knows that, but you have to learn it. You have to learn it in order to survive crossing the street. And this is a metaphor of life. I mean, you have to learn things. It is important to know.
Thank you. And I think there is additional question. Are you interested in what is going on in other cities of Lithuania with, let's say, other famous Litvaks? Are you paying interest, for example, what is going on in Lithuania related to Jewish history, culture?
Oh, I am on the whole a very curious person. I want to know what goes on in the world. I am every day looking into several newspapers in different languages. I somehow can connect easily in French, Lithuanian, Hebrew, Yiddish, and so on. So I look up from time to time Lithuania on Google and so on. I look what is happening. But, 24 hours in a day is very little. Is very, very little. And I have so much to do. And I'm still full-time painting. As you can see, I am dressed in my painting coveralls. So, of course, it is very interesting to me. Of course, I also have friends in Vilnius, and through these friends, I'm obviously very interested to know what is happening, what is going on there, how they experience life, and I mean, this is a normal human attitude, I think.
Well, so I'm happy also to see in our chat that people are liking what we saw, that this is an exciting project, and so I'm happy to see the positive remarks and like what we talked about today. And so well, I just also want to add that please accept our deepest condolences, since even I can see that it's like your family member
absolutely
passed away. Absolutely. So be strong, and
I appreciate it. Thank you.
We all now are living definitely into very hard times, and it's
living hard times, but things are changing. Let me just, to the memory of it was a cousin of the cousin who died, to tell you, he studied filmmaking in Germany many years ago, and for his diploma as a filmmaker, he made a film on an ex-Nazi who was accused of crimes of war, but this was many years ago. This was about 50 years ago. And when he made a film about this man who is researched, and he managed somehow to even find him and to get some information, no one was interested in the film. No one wanted to make it known. This whole thing fell asleep. It is just a couple of years ago that suddenly this thing became interesting to people. And a book was even published about him, about this cousin of mine who passed away. And he was recognized by what he did, because he was, for many years since he retired, the driver of my cousin, bringing her from one school to another school to another school 3-4 times a week. So it is very rewarding for me to be able to know that in my family there are all these people who have really been very good partners in what is important to my eyes and what has to be done. And the world has changed, because after so many years, his old film was recognized as an important document.
Well, great. And I also see, I think it will be the last question. So I think, planned that our event will take around 1 hour, so we are over. Yeah. But still, we have a question that do you think it would be meaningful that other cities of Lithuania would see your art? As everybody knows, that this summer we had the exhibition in Kaunas, that maybe we should work into other museums of Lithuania to
I am extremely interested in my work being shown in as many places as possible, and reaching a public everywhere. There is not only Lithuania, there are the Baltic states. There is, I think this is already the work of the museum in Vilnius, but I shall be delighted to know that my work can travel and can reach other people, as many as possible.
Yes, we also will take this in consideration. So, I think that we are about to finish, and it was very warm and interesting talk with Samuel Bako and also Lina. So maybe Lina wants to add something before we finish, or?
Nothing to add too much. I'm really glad to work on this project, and hopefully it will bring your work to different places of Lithuania easily now with this
it
digitalization.
Is very, very important what you do, and I think that through the work that you are doing, this may also with time certainly bring greater interest and curiosity for my art, and bring with it demands to the museum for exhibiting my work in more places.
So great, and I still can wish you happy Hanukkah, even in such circumstances, and also we are hoping for way better new year to 2021, and with all the vaccines and possibly medications coming, that we will be let out of quarantine and we can start our new lives.
I hope so.
So when people
it will take some time, we have to have a lot of patience and use the time and the limits in which we can act to the best of what we can do. Like right now, you see, we had today about 40 to 50 centimeters of snow.
Oh.
And it is still snowing. My house, you cannot, there is absolutely no traffic around. My house is surrounded by mountains of snow. And so we are kind of closed in, not only by the virus, but also by the snow. But rest assured, as soon as I say goodbye to you and I repeat my thanks for the wonderful job that you are doing, I will rush there. I can already hear from the lower floor that my brushes are screaming there. What are you doing? Why aren't you coming to paint? So I will run to paint.
Good to hear that, and we will be waiting for your new artworks. Maybe, to add to our.
You will see it. My gallery puts out on the internet all of the catalogs of my recent work, so you will see it very soon.
Yes, so thank you, and thanks from the public. We're still receiving wishes to you, and so I think we will have one more talk quite soon when we will finish our project, and definitely we will have a like final, let's say, presentation that we can present everything we did, and so we will be in touch.
It's a great pleasure for me to know that I am also in Vilnius right now in this moment. And I wish you all the best. And again, my real thanks to all the people that managed to listen, and to you. My thanks for all the wonderful work that you are doing.
Thank you so much, Samuel. Thank you so
Bye.
much. Thank you. Everyone.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Matau, mes turime ir pasiūlymą